It might only be October, but we've already had all the comic book movies we're entitled to for 2019. Question is, which one was best? But more importantly, which one was worst? I mean, it was probably Hellboy, right? Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the movie, but neither did anyone else. Am I right? Needless to say, it didn't make this year's list, and nor did it lead to Battle Angel, but these movies did.
Number 6, X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Anyone interested in an unofficial remake of X-Men 3? A movie universally regarded as one of the worst in the franchise? No? Yeah, it's neither. But Dark Phoenix did at least one-up its predecessor in that it's now universally regarded as the worst in the franchise. Apparently reshoots entirely replaced the final act due to similarities with other Marvel movies, and although the train sequence was kind of fun, nothing really connects. But I guess that's not surprising given Simon Kinberg was an untried director.
Tell me what to do, I don't know what to do!
And you do get the sense Fox just wanted it all to be over with. Luckily, or unluckily depending on your persuasion, Marvel purchased Fox, so we won't be getting any more of these debacles, though we are rumoured to be getting some racial recastings, so prepare for the outrage. Seriously though, how do you have a Jewish Holocaust survivor who's black?
Number 5, Captain Marvel.
Unfortunately, we did get to see this movie, and what was a promising premise ultimately turned into a bit of a yawn fest. Call us sexist if you want, but there's no hiding this was an average movie at best. Captain Marvel, see what we did there? Kicked off this year's CBM roster with Carol becoming a member of the $1 Billion Club, but ultimately Marvel had a hard time getting audiences to connect with the character beyond, she's our first female solo superhero. As if that fact alone gets you a pass. And it's not like Brie Larson did herself any favours playing the militant feminist card over and over. What else can you say apart from this was all rather lazily and hastily cobbled together, and that we'd hoped for so much more? Even Sam Jackson was dull. Hopefully, not a sign of things to come from Marvel's new lineup of superheroes post-Endgame.
Number 4, Shazam.
When initial Twitter reactions praised the movie, there was a feeling that this could be another shit show from DC. It wouldn't have been the first time. Turns out Shazam was a pretty decent movie and continued the positive trend following Shazam was always going to struggle due to name recognition, and indeed it didn't perform that well at the box office, but it did play to its strengths. The comparisons to Big were justified, and you got the sense that this is exactly how two punk kids would react to getting superpowers. Elsewhere, the movie more or less churned through the gears, checking off all the prerequisite New 52 plot points in a nimble 90-minute movie. Despite its poor ticket sales, franchise saver The Rock is set to join as Black Adam, so the future's looking bright for Billy and his super friends, even if Henry Cavill refused to do a cameo.
Number 3, Spider-Man Far From Home.
Spider-Man FFH is probably the Wallcrawler's most solid movie outing to date, with Spider-Man 3 a close second. Tom and his classmates toured Europe in a somewhat contrived plot, but as the layers got peeled back, there was a lot to enjoy. First and foremost, Jake Gyllenhaal turned in one of the great Marvel villain performances, while Tom got to step out of Tony's shadow and clean up his own mistakes this time around. The movie's successes were overshadowed by the Disney-Sony breakup, but everything's back on track now. As if we had any doubt. Meaning we'll presumably get a resolution to the movie's cliffhanger ending. Oh, and Marvel will presumably shoehorn Spidey 3 into its already stacked lineup.
Number 2, Avengers Endgame.
Just like last year's ranking video, the top spot eludes Endgame because it depends so heavily on the movies that came prior. That and all the plot holes. But when you're dealing with time travel, it's par for the course, I suppose. Cap had a shave, Hawkeye got a haircut, and some actual screen time, and the Avengers assembled for one of the greatest showdowns since Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. Sans the cringy female empowerment shot, of course. We got some big moments too. Tony died, new splintered timelines were created, and Cap became Joe Biden. Despite the achievement of concluding 10 years worth of Marvel storytelling, you can't help but feel a bit let down that the Thanos they ended up fighting had never actually met them. They also turned Thor into a fat online gaming loser too, and that we can't forgive. Mostly because we're fat online gaming losers, and we resent being the butt of jokes.
Number 1, Joker.
He's a joker, he's a smoker, he's a midnight, psycho clown killer. Drawing heavily on Robert De Niro's past movies and Robert De Niro himself, Joker is a more serious, character-focused take on the comic book movie. With so many great Jokers to compete with, plus a few bad ones, Joaquin, aka the real Dark Phoenix, had an almighty task on his hands to make the role unique, but he knocked the performance out of the park while keeping things satisfyingly creepy. We had some very kind things to say about him in this video. For us, Joker wins the year because it featured a lot fewer explosions than the rest. Maybe we're getting old, but also the tension the movie managed to ratchet up for such a small cast and such a limited premise was impressive, pushing Joker above the other CBMs released this year. And hopefully this is a sign of things to come for DC and Warner Brothers, even though they keep demonetizing our videos.
Thanks for watching this video, folks, and please tell us how we're wrong below. But don't tell us Hellboy was good, because we know you're bullshitting. Press all the buttons, do all the things. We've been the Doopie Bros. See you next time for a video about... something or other, I don't know.